Do you want to dominate the scouting market in Football Manager 2024? Then look no further than this video. I'm going to go through the game setup, the scouting methods that I use to scout the best wonder kids that have allowed me to achieve some unbelievable achievements throughout my Football Manager career. You're not going to want to miss this video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. But now, let's get into those tips that are going to elevate your scouting in Football Manager. My first top tip is when you're setting up the game, before you even get into the how to set up your scouts or the scouting methods, is to set up your game in the correct way. Now, you want as many leagues loaded as possible, particularly leagues that you know you're going to get wonder kids from. So for me, my top tips for loading up leagues, I would have in leagues like Serbia, Bulgaria. I would have all the South American nations in, so you can get those great South American players coming through in your save. We always know South American wonder kids just hit particularly different when you play in game. Other nations that could be worth it as well would be someone like Turkey. They always produce good wonder kids, I've found on my saves as well as nations like Belgium. They've always produced, the same as the Czech Republic or Czechia. Now, load as many of these as possible as you can. What you'll see is it will affect your game, estimated game speed. You could, if you want to play the game quickly, then obviously keep this as high as you can. If not, add in as many leagues as you possibly can that your computer can possibly take. I would recommend doing it because it's going to come in so handy in the future when you're looking at stats and you're looking at things like expected goals, clearances, pass completions, all of that kind of stuff. As many leagues loaded in, as much data as you can is absolutely key in finding the right players at the right time. Scouting isn't about just having the highest number of scouts you possibly can in the game. What that does help if they are of sufficient quality. If they're not of sufficient quality, then they're pretty much no use to you, in my humble opinion. I'm going to show you now how to find the best scouts. It's a really simple method. You go to staff search here, new search, staff role, make sure they're in the recruitment team, they're a scout. And then you want judging players' potential and ability. Adaptability is also helpful in this stage, but I find just having the raw numbers is the best, and you want to get them to as high as possible as you can for your football club currently. Now, I'm playing my Aris save, which is a save I did right at the start of Football Manager, where I took them from a club in Greece to the best team in Europe and won the World Cup with Greece, finding so many good new gens, which I'll show you at the end of this save. Now, what I'm looking for here is I want scouts that have close to like 19 and 19 or 20 and 20. And as you can see, it brings up a list of scouts here that you can get. We're just going to take a look at Adam Clark at West Ham. He's got 19 judging players ability and 19 judging players potential with 12 adaptability. Another example would be Keke Duran, who's the chief scout at Atletico Madrid. As you can see, he's much better than the prior West Ham version, as he does have better adaptability. So adapting to a new country, adapting to a new market, he's going to fit into your squad much better. And you want to fill your scouting staff with these type of scouts, with high adaptability, with the high judging players potential and ability. Also, as you can see, this guy is actually, Roberto Marta is one of the best scouts in the game. 19 adaptability, 19 judging player ability, and 19 judging player potential. This guy is the chef's kiss. This guy is the Ronaldo or Messi of the scouting world in game. Make sure you fill your club with these. If you are playing a club at a lower level, try and get the best you can. That, for your club, that might be a set of 10s. It might be 12 and 13s. It might be 7 and 8s. It might be 5s and 6s if you are quite low down in the footballing pyramid. But make sure you fill your scouts with these top-notch abilities to get the best players through in those scouting reports. Next up, you want to set your recruitment focuses. Now, once you've filled your club with all these great scouts, once you've got them in there, you want to set them up on the right assignment. So you can have the best tools, but if you don't point the best tools in the right direction, you won't get the best results, as a wise man once told me. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. All your Football Manager tips and tricks are here, plus series, tactics, save ideas, anything Football Manager based is on the channel. I appreciate the support. It really helps me. If just a few of you watching this video right now would click that subscribe button, it would change the trajectory of my channel and potentially my life. Now, that's enough of me of overhyping, overgassing, and over-promoting myself. Let's get back to the reason why you're here, and that is the tips. Now, creating recruitment focuses. This will differ in terms of what leagues you're in and what level of scouting you got. Now, I've got worldwide unlocked here in my scouting budget, so I can send them pretty much anywhere. What you want to do is make sure, I always go for any position at the time. Transfer, if you're going for transfers, obviously loans if you're going for loans, or transfer and loans if you want a bit of both. Now, ongoing is the one you want to pick, and when you've assigned your scout, you can pick this. If you can pick the best scouts you want, and as you can see, it does bring them up here in terms of which ones you want to look at. So, for instance, if you want to send the best scout, so Giovanni Roscanoli, let's select him. and it's ongoing. And what we want to do is take a look at the further details section. You want to add in if you've got one, you scout for a particular height, if you want a particular national team, language, world reputation, transfer value, all of that good stuff. But before we get into that, we want to send them into the areas. Now, here's the areas here. You can choose areas by competitions, nations, regions, continents. Now, I always start off with continents or regions, whichever one you want to do. I always send a few scouts to a couple of continents like South America. I send a couple of scouts there doing the same job. Yes, you may say it's repetition, but what you can also do is send one to North South America and one to South America, if that makes perfectly sense. So split them into two. Make sure you do that. And make sure you cover all of these regions in here, particularly paying particular attention to the South Americans, the Europeans, and I would say the North Americans is where you're going to get the best wonder kids from. Now, you do get some great wonder kids from Africa, particularly from North Africa and from Western Africa. So from countries like Tunisia, Egypt, Ghana, Nigeria, the Ivory Coast. Those kind of countries always seem to produce great wonder kids. And in North America, you want to go for North America. So you want to look at countries like the US, Mexico. Those will be the places that I would go to for that. So again, you're probably better off when you're looking at North America, going to countries and selecting the countries in this style here. Once you've got them all set up, you'll then be able to get some great players through in your scouting list, which I'll now show you, which I've had replicated this setup in this save. So by using this scouting method, we've been able to find some great players, and one of those great young players is David Carrera, a new gen goalkeeper at Porto. We need a goalkeeper in this save. He's £50 million. As you can see, we've got a transfer budget of £263 million there. And he's a great steal for us. Look at those attributes for a goalkeeper. Aerial reach. He's got a great kick in. He's got great one-on-ones, great reflexes, great throwing. This guy is a top-notch goalkeeper. I'll also show you some of the other players that I have bought from my scouting recommendations through this save. Podashayev is another player I had at Aris. He went to PSG, which you can see in that series, and he was a great player for us. And the scouts found him out in Russia for a very cheap fee for us, to be perfectly honest with you. 6.25 million, managed to sell him for 21 million. Over to PSG just a couple of seasons later. What a find he was. And you will find great wonder kids using these scouting methods, but there's more we can dig into with inside the data center and get into grips with the data part of the game. The biggest and best tip I can give you about dominating the scouting market is knowing your own team. Now, come into the data hub here and have a real look at your side. For instance, if your side, you can see that they're not very good at winning tackles, or they're not very good at pass completion, they're not very good at shot completion either, or shot conversion, then I would take a look at players in tournaments. Like, for instance, if you're looking at if you want to get particularly wonder kids, for instance, and this is now if you're a team that's, that can buy these kind of players, is go to like the under-21s World Cup, go to the under-21 Euros, take a look at who's got great pass completion, be they a good ball playing centre-back, a central midfield player that you're lacking, or a shot conversions for a striker. Now, this is going to be highly dependent on how you set up your game at the start. That's why that was my first tip. And when you go into the scouting, I can now show you how to build out those scouting reports that you can see those kind of players that want to come to your football club. So now we're back inside our scouting hub here, and all I've done is I've gone to new search, and you'll come up with a blank piece of paper here, or if you do have pre-existing stuff in there, what you want to do is clear it out if there is stuff in there. And now, for instance, we're going to use the example of a player who has, you're lacking in pass completion, and you need a good player who's going to have great pass completion in your save. Now go to condition here, type in pass, and then you will see it comes up with some great stuff here. You've got passes completed, or you can look at pass completion ratio is the one that you want. Now it will give you a drop down of what you want here. So you want to be in the 90 pluses. You can obviously up that a little bit if you want a player that's got, a very strong pass completion ratio, 95% pass completion. This guy in a certain position, say for example, he's a sort of a playmaking midfield player, or you need a new ball playing centre back at the back. This will be very good for them. So they're not going to give the ball away. They're not going to give the ball to the opposition. You're not going to be recycle possession. You're going to have a team that can pass the ball around like the prime Barcelona. Now you can do other things in here like shot completion. So if you look at conversion rate is that one you want to look for if you're looking for shot conversion. There's so much other stuff that you can do in here. If you're looking for a great striker, obviously you would change that and change these out and make sure you get them in, and just highlight your team's opportunities where you can improve. And if you can improve those season on season, you're going to become unbeatable in the game. There's no one that's going to stop you. You're going to have great wonder kids. You're going to have a team full of players that have improved on your positions, whether that's average interceptions, goals per 90 minutes, whatever it may be. you're going to be dominating the game thanks to these Football Manager tips. And if I've missed something out, please do comment it in the comments, and maybe potentially we can make a part 2 with the community's biggest and best tips. But if not, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you on another one.